Hello guys, welcome back to episode number 3 of this full-featured CRUD app with View series. In this episode, I have decided to start building my first view or my first page, which is home.view. In home.view, we are going to list the employees that our backend API provides. So this page will be like the landing page of your application. So when the user navigates to the application and when the user is at the root of your application, they are going to see whatever you have in this home view. And I am saying that because in the previous episode, if you remember, in the routes that we defined, we kind of said that when the user is here at the root of the application, just render the home page. And right now the home page is empty, but we are going to develop it in this episode. So this is the landing page of your application, and what we want to do is to display a list of employees that we are going to fetch from our backend API. Because this is the first time we are going to develop this page, we are going to talk about so many things. But when we get familiar with these concepts, for the next component or the next page, I won't, talk about these concepts in detail. But yeah, as this is our first time, we need to talk about these in detail. So let's talk about the node. This is my markup. This is my, template for the home view. And there are so many things happening here. And I am going to write the code. And of course, we are going to talk about these. But if you take a look at the code, you will kind of understand what is going on. So basically what I am doing is I am creating this H2. Then I am going to create a link so that the user can navigate to another page for adding a new employee. Then using this section, I am mapping through the employees that I have fetched from my backend API one at a time using this v-for, right? And I am rendering the name of that employee and the position of that employee. And of course, for each employee, because they're rendered inside an LI, I want to allow the user to be able to edit that employee using dynamic routing, as I told you about, in the previous episode. And I have this button for deleting that specific employee. So, but there are so many details that I would like to talk about, and I am going to talk about them, and then I'm going to take you to VS Code to implement these. Let's talk about the template. So first off, the router link with these two attributes and this route that we have defined. So this is going to be a link to allow the user to navigate to the add employee page without refreshing the page. We are doing client-side routing. We haven't developed the add employee page or view yet, but we're going to do that. The next step is this UI tag. I told you it is going to loop through the employees array using the v-for, and it renders each employee's first name and position, or name and position. And here there are so many things happening. So for example, we are setting a key using the employee ID, right? And of course, we are creating another route and another button. The key is a unique identifier used by Vue for updating the DOM. The router, and then two, take a look at this column. It's a dynamic route. It is going to generate a link based on the ID of that current employee that is being rendered by the v-for directive. And then the button is going to have its click event handled using this function that we are going to define. And this function takes in the ID of that employee that it wants to delete. So a delete button with a click event. So the difference between to add and this one, which has a colon in front of it, in the two router links that we have, has to do with static binding and dynamic binding. So take a look at these two routes one more time, router links. We have one router link here and one router link here. This is a static route. It doesn't change. So we use 2 as an attribute on the router link. But this is a dynamic route because it changes every time based on the ID of that employee. So we need to have that colon in front of it. So the next one, yeah, the router link. I told you about this. It's a static string. It's a static, route. Vue treats it as plain text. It will always link to /add, and you use it when the destination route is fixed and it doesn't change. In this case, /add. Now, because I don't want to bore you with these theoretical stuff, I want to take you to VS Code and implement this code, and then I'm going to take you back again to the notes to talk about the other parts of the code that we have written as the template of this, home view. So we're going to have this H2. We're going to create the router link. We will have the ULLI, the router link, using dynamic routing, the button, and then we're going to wrap everything inside of our template, tag. But there are, again, so many things that I would like to talk about. I told you, because this is the first time we are developing a page or a view or a component. For the other, pages that we will develop, I'm not going to talk about these in so much detail. So let's talk about dynamic binding. If you remember, in the other router link, inside of that, loop, I am going to add a colon here. So this colon before 2 is a shorthand for vbind colon. So this tells Vue to evaluate the expression instead of using it as plain text. When I say evaluate, it means that it's going to take this employee ID. For the first employee, it's going to be, for example, number 1. So the route will be /edit /1. So it's going to evaluate the value that you put, that you set to these two attributes. So, for example, this one is a JavaScript template literal that dynamically inserts the employee ID into the URL. For example, if employee ID is 7, the route becomes this, right? Take a look at number 7 here. So, yeah, 2 versions of routing using router link, static, dynamic. So static, it's always the same, doesn't change. Dynamic, JavaScript evaluates it to create the final URL, and you use the colon and then 2 in front of it whenever your link target depends on data, like for example the ID of an employee or a query string. The other things that are happening here is v4. It's a directive for looping through an array. vbind, or its shorthand, colon, it's used to bind a key to a 2 attribute. The @click for clicking DOM events, for handling DOM events, and router link for navigating between routes without page reload. So let's talk about v4 and vbind. These are the 2 directives in Vue that you can use to loop through data and dynamically, bind attributes. If you take a look here, inside this UL tag, I am using this directive to, loop through the employees array that we are going to, we are going to create in a minute. And then for each employee, we are going to render the name and the position. So let's talk about v4. v4 lets you repeat elements like ul or div, in this example ul, right, based on an array or an iterable. So for example, when you say li v4 item in items, and then you set the key, and this is the shorthand for vbind, you are basically repeating this li element for each item inside of the items array. So item in items loops through each item inside the items array. Key item ID, Vue needs a unique ID for each li element to, efficiently do DOM manipulation. An item.name displays the name property of each item that the v4 is producing. So for example, take a look here. This is the code we are going to write, by the way. So yeah, script setup is the section of the code that will contain, let's say, the JavaScript of your page or of your view. So for each fruit inside of this fruits array, you set the key the key will be the fruit itself, and then you are going to render the fruit. So you will have like 3 LIs for the apple, banana, and cherry. This will render this, right? So this is the code that we have here. Now I want to talk a little bit about vbind. So vbind lets you bind HTML attributes like href, src, id, class to JavaScript expressions or data. For example, if you have an image element and you want to bind the src attribute of that element to some value, you're going to use vbind colon src. And of course, the shorthand version is going to be colon src. So vbind or colon is going to be used for attribute binding, dynamic attribute binding. For example, suppose you have this hyperlink. When you create an anchor tag and you put, colon here and then href, it means that this, the value inside of this, let's say, variable, profile link, or const in this case, will be taken from here and will be replaced here. So colon href or vbind href is used for dynamic attribute binding. So you're binding the attributes of HTML elements to these dynamic values. So this will render this in the output. So yeah, we talked about v4, vbind. v4, it's a directive. You use it to loop through arrays. vbind is used for dynamic binding attributes of HTML elements to some value. Both are fundamental tools in Vue that allow you to render lists of data and customize element dynamically based on your JavaScript. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about, by the way, this needs to be updated. It's not going to be a script setup. It's going to be a script. The next thing we need to talk about is the script block. So the script block is basically the JavaScript code that is going to support your template. So it's like the logic of your page or the logic of your component. And if you're familiar with JavaScript, you will understand what is happening here. For example, I've got this function to fetch some employees from a backend API. And then I am setting the values of this employees array. I'm going to talk about this reference or reactive variable. And then I've got delete employee. And delete employee is used to delete an employee using axios and our backend API. And when I delete an employee, I'm going to call fetch employees one more time. So basically, inside of a page or component, what you do is that you create a template, you surround or wrap your HTML code using this template tag, and then below it, you create that, script tag or a script setup tag where you put the logic of your page or the logic of your component that is going to support the, template of your page. So let's write this real quick. I am going to talk about ref and unmounted. We're going to import axios, creating a reactive variable called employees, creating the first function, fetch employees, to fetch our employees from our backend API, setting the value of our reactive variable, and then deleting an employee using axios, and then calling fetch employees one more time, and unmounted when the let's say this page gets mounted, it's going to call fetch employees by default. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So ref is used to create a reactive variable called employees in this case, and it is going to be initialized to an empty array. Take a look here. This is a reactive variable, and I'm going to tell you what a reactive variable means, and it is initialized to an empty array. But for example, inside of fetch employees, it's going to get a new value. So you're basically going to set the value for a reactive variable using dot value notation. So dot value means take whatever it is here, so the data that I have received from my backend API, and set it to the employees reactive variable. So axios.get sends a GET request to fetch all employees from the backend JSON server, right? Axios.delete for sending a delete request. Unmounted, this is also important. It's a lifecycle hook, like lifecycle hooks in React or Angular. So it runs fetch employees once the component is mounted to the application. Now, why do we use ref again? Because we want the employees array to be reactive. It means that whenever it is updated, for example, whenever it gets some new value, we get the array of employees from the backend, the UI will re-render automatically. So it is reactive. Why are we using unmounted, this lifecycle method? This hook ensures that the data is fetched only after the component is attached to the DOM. So you define this fetch employees, but you don't run it until the component has been mounted, the component or the page has been attached to the DOM. Then you call fetch employees, you communicate with the backend API, you get the data, and you set the value for this reactive variable using employees.value. How deletion works. So you click on the delete button, and the delete button will take in the ID using that button that we had in the template, and then it sends a delete request to that backend API using the route that we have defined, right? And then the deletion happens. When it is successful, you refetch the data. Let me show you what I mean. So for the button here, for each employee inside of the employees array, inside of this reactive variable, we are rendering a button. And the click event of that button is going to be handled using the delete button, the delete employee function. And the delete employee function is going to take in the ID, which we are going to pass here, right? So the ID of each employee that is, being rendered using this v4 directive. So what is happening here is that when you click on this button, you're going to invoke this function. And this function is going to take in the ID that you're passing here. It's going to send a delete request to your backend API with that ID and this endpoint. And then the API is going to delete that employee with whatever logic it has. And then you fetch employees one more time using this function. And this means that this reactive variable will be updated. And when this reactive variable is updated, this UI and the LIs inside of it will be re-rendered because it is reactive. I told you reactive means whenever the value inside of this reactive variable is updated, the template will be re-rendered automatically. So yeah, we are going to, for example, re-render the list of employees without rendering that employee that we just deleted. So yeah, this is the code for the employee list. And yeah, that's it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. And if that's the case, as always, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for the next one.